If your walls are actively bowing inward, if the floor is visibly sinking or sloping, if cracks are wider than about a quarter inch and growing rapidly, those may be signs of genuine structural failure that requires professional engineering assessment. The powder handles cracks, leaks, and water intrusion brilliantly. It does not handle structural collapse. The distinction matters, and now you know it. But here is the reality that should make you furious. Contractors do not make that distinction for you. They treat a $200 cosmetic crack exactly the same way they treat a $20,000 structural shift. They show up, they scare you with technical jargon, they write a 5-figure estimate, and they leave you terrified. The inspection alone can cost $500 to $3,000. The report tells you what you could have figured out yourself in 10 minutes with a tape measure and a flashlight. If the crack is hairline to a 4-in, stable, and mostly vertical, you fix it yourself for $1. If it is wide, horizontal, and growing with visible displacement, you call an engineer. That single sentence saves you $5,000 on average, and no contractor in America will ever say it to you, because the moment you understand that sentence, you stop being a customer and start being informed. The Romans understood hydraulic chemistry over 2,000 years ago. They built aqueducts that carried water across entire continents. They poured concrete domes that have outlasted every modern skyscraper by centuries. The Pantheon still stands in Rome with a 43M dome and zero reinforcement. Not a single crack. 2,000 years. That knowledge never disappeared. It was deliberately buried under layers of jargon, licensing requirements, and a $12 billion industry that profits from your fear. A $1 container of powder contains the exact same chemical principles that built the most durable structures in human history. Your cracked basement wall is not a catastrophe. It is a Tuesday afternoon project. This knowledge did not die. It was waiting, sealed inside bags on the bottom shelf of the hardware store, priced so low that the industry hoped you would walk right past it. But you did not walk past it. You watch this video, and now you know what they spent billions making sure you would never learn. If this vault opens something for you today, subscribe and hit the bell. Every subscription strengthens a community that refuses to pay $5,000 for a $1 fix. Every share puts this knowledge into the hands of another homeowner who's about to get a 5-figure quote they do not need. Share this with someone whose basement has cracks. Share it before winter comes, and the freeze makes those cracks worse. The next vault opens soon, and what the industry buried this time is even heavier.
The water, not in spite of it. Smeen called it hydraulic lime, and it became the foundation of the lighthouse that stood for over 126 years. But the real breakthrough came 3 decades later. In 1824, a bricklayer named Joseph Aspen from Leeds, England, heated finely ground chalk and clay in a kiln until the calcium burned off completely. The powder that remained was harder, stronger, and more water-resistant than anything the world had ever seen. He named it Portland cement after the stone quarries on the Isle of Portland. What Aspen did not realize was that he had accidentally unlocked the same chemical reaction the Romans had discovered centuries before. The volcanic ash they pulled from the hills near Mount Vesuvius contained the same silica compounds that Aspen was creating in his kiln. The Pantheon in Rome, built in 125 AD, still has the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world, 2 zeros, 0 years old and not a single crack. The formula was never a secret. It was deliberately forgotten, because by the mid-1900s, the construction and repair industry realized something terrifying. If homeowners knew that a $1 container of hydraulic cement could seal the same cracks contractors charged thousands to fix, the entire business model would collapse. Stay with me because the numbers behind this suppression are genuinely disturbing. But first, this video is just the tip of what has been buried. I have compiled everything the foundation repair industry does not want you to know into a single vault. Everything inside the Forbidden Camping Vault, the Foundation Crack Killer Guide, a step-by-step manual that shows you exactly how to seal every type of crack with a $1 powder, the basement waterproofing blueprint, the complete system contractors use but charge $10 to install, The Concrete Repair Handbook, covering garage floors, driveways, retaining walls, and sidewalks using the same suppressed materials. The Home Inspection Survival Guide, so you know what contractors deliberately miss to upsell you later. And the Hidden Costs Exposed dossier breaking down the real markup on every common home repair. More than 10 guides in one place. No filler, straight to the point. The link is in the description, but stay right here because the video is just getting started. Now let us talk about what this powder actually does inside a crack. Hydraulic cement is a dry powder made from a carefully controlled blend of calcium silicates, calcium aluminate, and gypsum. When you add water, a chemical reaction called hydration begins immediately. The molecules rearrange and form crystalline structures that interlock and harden. But here is what makes hydraulic cement different from every other filler on the shelf. As it cures, it expands. Not by much, but enough to press itself firmly against the interior walls of the crack. Regular caul, epoxy, and foam all shrink when they dry, leaving microscopic gaps that water eventually finds again. Hydraulic cement does the opposite. It physically grows into the space, creating a seal that gets tighter, not looser, over time. And the most critical property of all is that it sets even in the presence of active water flow. You can literally apply this product to a crack while water is streaming through it. And within 3 to 5 minutes, the flow stops completely. No other consumer product on the planet does that. A 2000-year-old Roman aqueduct and your cracked basement wall can be sealed with the same fundamental chemistry. $1 versus $5,000, same result. Now here is where the data gets ugly. According to industry analysis, the foundation repair services market in the United States and Canada was valued at nearly $12 billion in 2025. The average foundation repair job costs homeowners just over $5,000 according to Home Advisor data, but the typical range stretches from around $2,200 for minor work to over $8,000 for moderate repairs. Severe structural jobs can exceed $30,000, and a full foundation replacement can cost between $20,000 and $100,000. Meanwhile, a single container of hydraulic cement costs between $1 and $3 at any home improvement store. That same container holds enough powder to seal multiple cracks in a standard residential foundation. The material cost for what a contractor charges $5,000 to fix is often less than what you spend on your morning coffee. And it gets worse. Most homeowner insurance policies in the United States explicitly exclude foundation damage from coverage. That means when cracks appear, and they will appear in virtually every home older than 10 years, you pay out of pocket. The contractor shows up, uses a fancy name like hydrostatic pressure injection or epoxy crack remediation to describe a process that is fundamentally the same thing. Makes a compound, press it into the crack, let it cure. The difference is the invoice. Their compound costs them under $50. Your invoice reads $5,000. The terminology exists for one reason only, to make the process sound too complex for you to attempt yourself, and that is precisely what they are counting on. If you have made it this far, you already know more about foundation repair than 99% of homeowners in America. You know the product, you know the cost, and you know who profits from your ignorance. If you still have not grabbed the forbidden camping vault, everything I just described and much more is inside step by step with photos, with exact product names. The link is in the description, and it might be the best dollar per knowledge ratio you will ever find. Now, stay with me because what comes next is the part they really do not want you to hear. So, why is a $1 product not the standard recommendation for every cracked foundation in America? Why does every Google search for foundation cracks lead you straight to contractor ads quoting thousands of dollars? Here's the answer, and it is not complicated. The foundation repair industry generates nearly $12 billion a year across the United States and Canada. That revenue depends entirely on one thing: Your belief that foundation repair is too complex for you. You cannot patent hydraulic cement. It has been in the public domain for over 2 centuries. You cannot create a proprietary version that forces homeowners to come back every year. You cannot generate recurring revenue from a product that costs $1 and lasts forever. The entire economic model of the foundation repair industry requires you to believe 3 lies. Line number 1, that foundation cracks are inherently dangerous and demand professional assessment before any action is taken. Line number 2, that the repair process requires specialized industrial equipment that only licensed professionals possess. Lie number 3, that a DIY repair is risky and could make the problem worse, voiding your home warranty or insurance. Every single one of those lies is designed to keep you on the phone with a contractor instead of walking to the hardware store.